Hey, what's going on, Purple People podcast fans? Welcome to the show. I'm personally glad to be back. It's been a couple weeks. My name is Kyle Smith. I am joined by Dorian Foley. What's up, man?
You didn't use my show title. I'm mad at both of you.
Yeah, Dorian's upset with us today.
What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? Hope everybody is feeling good and great. And yeah, Minnesota Vikings football.
Hell yeah. Kyle West is here as well. What's up, dude?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
If you see Mr. Adam Carlson on the side of the road thumbing your eye, please help him out because he's having car troubles, and we want him to get home safely and need that car fixed ASAP. So, Adam, if you're listening, we love you, buddy. Hopefully your car gets fixed soon and you're not stranded all night. So,
our first comment in the chat was a hashtag blew that. As in, the Saints blew it. I love you guys in the chat room.
Oh, man. All right, well, let's jump into that. This is episode number 336 of the Purple People podcast entitled There's Something About Gary. I wanted to put Kubiak in parentheses, but I don't want to make it too long. So if you didn't hear, one of our main topics is Gary Kubiak joined the Vikings as the assistant head coach and the offensive advisor. He did win a Super Bowl with Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos in 2015. I think he stepped away for a year or so for health reasons, but that's a major signing for us. So we're going to get into that a little bit later. But yeah, let's just jump into what's going on in the chat because this is a super controversial topic over the week. I know the last 2 days on ESPN and all the platforms have been talking about it. So if you missed Championship Sunday, the Rams were the 2 seed visiting the number 1 seed, New Orleans Saints, and it came into overtime. And there was a blown call by the referees on an obvious pass interference call against the Rams that would have given the Saints pretty much the game. But because we're Viking fans and we never forget, sucks to suck. As Anthony Barr said today, I think to TMZ or somebody else, the Saints just need to take their L and go home. The Saints were complaining.
I don't feel bad for the Saints because they won the game went to overtime. They won the coin toss, and guess what they did with it? Threw an interception and gave the ball back to the Rams. So thank you, fuck you, bye. You lost the football game.
Jim Cornette. Hell yeah, I love it. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Dorian, what'd you think? I know what you think, but I want to hear you say it.
Oh my goodness. Okay, try to keep it PG. Tough shit, tough cookie. I don't care. It's just dessert. Just it tastes good in your mouth. Fuck you.
In your mouth. In your mouth.
Like seriously, I do not for 1 second feel bad. I mean for him because obviously it was a blown fucking call. So, but at the same time, at the end of it all, they were talking stuff all in our face 10 years back when you already know that game. So
as sports fans in general, though, like, forget that it's the Saints, whatever. It was a blown call. It does suck that happens, especially in that stage of a game. The NFL needs to do a better job. Like people said in the comments, you fine players, maybe they need to start fining officials for missing calls. I don't know.
Referees, they did it earlier in the season. I don't know if they fined them or they fired them, but there was a blown call, obvious, and they call into New York for that one guy that always does a review, which I like him to do because it's going to take a minute or two out of the game anyway. So let's hear a professional opinion. But bottom line, they need to fine or fire these guys because, like you said, the players would. I have 2 sides of this, and I'm going to sound like a hypocrite for one when I go to the other, but I want to get the negative one that people aren't going to like out of the way. I'm not as big on talking shit about this as a Vikings fan because the Rams did this. If the Vikings had done this to the Saints and went to the Super Bowl, I would see the justification on this, but it kind of makes us look like losers that we're like, oh, this team lost. Like, we were 8-7-1.
Right. I get it.
But I'm going to go ahead and swing back around as a hypocrite and come back with Dorian and be like, you know what, Saints, suck a D. You were at home, and I don't care that you're mad. And Michael Thomas is like, oh, Commissioner, you have the power to turn this thing around. How about play good enough, like Kyle said, not to have this affect the outcome of the game? You let the team come in and beat you to go to the Super Bowl.
We can stop beating a dead horse here, but to the best of my knowledge, there's no precedent for the NFL reversing the outcome of a game. I don't think that's ever happened. If it has, it's been before my knowledge. You can't set a precedent. I don't care how bad you think that penalty is. You can't set a precedent for changing the outcome of a game after it's already been determined. That, to me, goes completely against the sport of football.
Yeah, if you're gonna make changes, it has to be within the game. They can't come back and say, "Oh, we're gonna play tomorrow or the next day." If you've got to have the wherewithal to make changes, you have to do it on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
But then where do you draw the line? Is it just the playoffs? Because the teams that are one game away from getting in and they don't get the same treatment, then essentially you ruin their season. Where along the line does this go down? I don't know. But all in all, hey, Saints fans, we get it. It sucks. It happened to us. You did it to us. But I think all in all, it comes back down to who played better at the end of the day. And you're right. Drew Brees got exposed, which is crazy because I wanted to vote him for the MVP. But he's not going to win the MVP. And they're not going to the Super Bowl. So, yeah, the Rams, the LA Rams are going to the Super Bowl.
Yes. Let me piggyback real quick, Kyle Smith.
Go for it.
I'm with you in, the same. I don't feel vindicated or justified. I agree with you 100% when you said if it was us in there with them and that call, if that call was made
so sweet.
Advance, then yeah, I would feel vindicated. I'm just like, like I don't care. It's no, never mind. You know what I mean, Kyle. So I agree with what you're saying. So I'm not like all in it 100%. Because, yeah, the Rams aren't my team. Congratulations to them, whatever. I'm not a Rams fan. I'm a Vikings fan. That's why I'm talking on this here Vikings podcast. Vikings. But, yeah. I just put that out there real quick that I agree with you, and I'm totally, agree with you and on your side on that.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw a little point out there. I'm still going to laugh at him. It's like no different than last year with the Minneapolis Miracle. There's a ton of people hating on the Saints, and they weren't Saints fans, so it's like, hey, it's funny. You whiffed the tackle and you cost your team the game. That sucks, but
it sucks when it happens to your team, but you always laugh when it's like the Packers or whatever.
Oh, yes. It's like Bears fans a couple weeks ago. I feel no pity for you missing a field goal.
Right?
Welcome to our life in the wild card round. That sucks to suck.
It's kind of what makes sports interesting. Sometimes you miss a field goal. Sometimes it's a bad call, and you get to watch a whole group of people just get pissed off all at the same time.
That one Bears fan that recorded himself talking about Cody Parkey is hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, it was good. It was really good. All right, next quick hit. The Vikings Chief Operating Officer, Kevin Warren, has been honored along with 5 other leaders in the sports industry by Sports Business Journal Daily. The publication announced recently its class of champions, pioneers and innovators in sports business for 2019. And in quotes, the highest-ranking African-American executive in the NFL, Warren just completed his 14th season with the Vikings and 20th overall in the league. Now the team's COO. He's led an impressive turnaround on the Vikings, emerges as one of the sport's most powerful voices on diversity and inclusion. Man, this is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Look up Kevin Warren while you guys filibuster for me.
Oh, I think it's a great honor, and just the fact that he's been with, let me pull the notes back up. How long has he been with the Vikings now? 14 seasons with Minnesota and 20 in the league. And we should be thankful because Kevin Warren is a name that gets brought up quite frequently for other teams looking for general managers, whatever. He gets brought up for whatever reason. He has continued to be very, very loyal to Minnesota. And I'm just really thankful for him to continue to show that to the Vikings organization.
I'll be honest, I don't know much about him. I've heard his name, but I'm glad that he's with us, and that is an awesome feat to be at that position for as long as he has been, So, hey, I'm glad that he's on our side.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking on his Wikipedia page. He's going to be 56 here in November. So he's born in the same year as my dad. University of Pennsylvania, Grand Canyon University for the bachelor's, master's at Arizona State, and then University of Notre Dame Law. So he, what is he? He is an attorney, and going all the way down I'm looking at notes here from the St. Louis Rams from 97-01, the Lions from 01-03, Greenberg Trog from 03 to 5, and Vikings from 05 to present. So he's been with us for 14 years, like we talked about. So I'm looking here to see. So it says, as the COO of the Vikings, he oversaw the team's long-running quest for a new stadium, the largest public and private construction project in Minnesota's history. He was instrumental in selecting designers, developers, legal advisors, and the Vikings' interim location. So he selected TCF Bank Stadium while their new $1.3 billion stadium was under construction. So you guys can thank him for the new venue.
That's cool.
Crazy.
Very cool.
Cool. So yeah, nothing but respect and a tip of the cap there for Kevin Warren. When you do stuff like that, and being that he is a person of color too, like he's just defying all the odds. And it sucks you have to say defying odds because he's a human like all the rest of it. But that's awesome. So what did it say? He's 20th overall in the league, so he's creeping into the top half here shortly. That's really awesome, man. That's really cool.
Nice.
Here's another cool quick hit that we have. Kyle Rudolph won the Walter Payton Man of the Year Challenge. And
we love that one.
Right.
$25,000 from Nationwide to donate to the charity of his choice, which he chose the University of Minnesota Masonic Children's Hospital. Now,
he's worked a lot with them in the past. I know we've talked about that here on the show. He's very deserving of this honor. He does a lot of really good charitable work, particularly with kids. Which how can you not appreciate someone who will do that in their free time?
Now, this doesn't mean that he's won the Man of the Year award yet. I believe that's on the 2nd of February, the Saturday, right?
Yeah.
But he is the Vikings representative, and I know the guy, I think Skull Bros on Instagram, he's promoted him a lot, trying to get the votes up there. So I believe you can still vote for him. I'll check it sometime during the podcast, but he's our choice for Man of the Year, for the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. This is really cool that he got $25,000 donated to Minnesota's Children's Hospital. That's cool. Man, you can't say enough good stuff about him. And there are talks out there, if you guys didn't hear, about us letting him go. And it feels weird because he's been with us for, like 7 seasons already?
Yeah, I know. It doesn't seem like it's been that long. People in the chat room still talking about the Saints game. You can move on from it, by the way. No sense arguing about it. But yeah, it doesn't seem like Kyle Rudolph has been with the Vikings for that long until you look at it and you're like, God, he was all the way back when Christian Ponder was quarterback for this team. So
he sure was.
He has been with us for a spell now.
Yes.
I think he's going to go down as the Vikings' best tight end that they've had. Just how it works, records are made to be broken. He's going to hold a bunch of records, but if we can find a way to keep him on the team, I want him to stay on this team because he does so much. And I hate this because this is the same argument I make against Laquan Treadwell, but Kyle Rudolph actually catches passes too. So that's my argument with it. But yeah, if we could keep him, I would be very happy.
Right. Doesn't he have, weren't we talking earlier in the season about like he's got some record, top 10 receiving record or receptions or something? I don't remember. What was it?
Yeah, so what it was, we were talking about it, and I can't give you the exact numbers, but in Minnesota Viking history, we have a list of receptions, and that could be from a tight end or a wide receiver, whoever. And, Adam Thielen's catching so many footballs, he's jumping up. And that was the crazy stat. Adam Thielen's been with the team for a shorter amount of time than Kyle Rudolph, but Adam Thielen's passing.
Right.
Now, what the other dynamic to that is, for you guys that don't know or understand it as good, tight ends don't catch a lot of footballs compared to wide receivers.
Unless you're Rob Gronkowski.
Very fucking true. But the other part of that is, too, that should show you how much Rudy has caught passes for this team, because tight ends are usually the number 2 to 3 option, maybe sometimes number 4, depending on who's on the team. And he's all the way up there. So let me figure out and Google where he is on the Vikings reception list all time, and I'll get back to you.
I just like to point out that we are not a Saints podcast, so yes, we can laugh at them in the chat room, guys.
Yes,
we can make fun of the Saints.
All right, so I've got it pulled up. So receiving history. So let's go to receptions. See if we can do it just by receptions. If I click on it. Oh, nice. Okay, there it is. So let's go back one. Sorry, guys. So we're here. Chris Carter had 1,004 receptions. Randy Moss had 587. Anthony Carter's at number 3 with 478. Jake Reed at 413. Sammy White with 393. Steve Jordan, 490. This is not in the right order. I hate this so much. Let's go down again. All right, now we've got it down. So Sammy White is at 7 with 393. Kyle Rudolph, 386 receptions.
There you go.
Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs is at 11. Adam Thielen is at 12. Stephon Diggs has 302. Adam Thielen has 293. So I think what we were talking about before was yardage. But, yeah, Kyle Rudolph is number 8 on the all-time list in receptions. When it comes to touchdowns, Kyle Rudolph is 5th at 41. And just for shits and giggles, I'll look up yards too while we move along here.
He's made his mark on the team while you're looking that up. And like you said, it's kind of easy to forget it, but you kind of take him for granted a little bit because he's with us and he doesn't make a lot of, I don't want to say splash plays, but they're different kind of splash plays than what you get from a receiver. So you kind of take for granted all these sneaky yards and stuff.
So I found out what we were talking about earlier. So when we're talking about receiving yards, Adam Thielen has passed Kyle Rudolph in a shorter amount of time, but obviously a wide receiver is going to catch more and run more. So Kyle Rudolph is 9th all-time on the Vikings list with 3,787. Adam Thielen is already at number 8 with 3,897. He's got a while to go until he catches a moderate shot at 7. Nobody's ever going to catch Chris Carter for this team, but pretty good, not going to lie. And Kyle Rudolph, while we're on the subjects and beating this horse straight into the ground, he has a 66.6 reception. Damn it.
Oh, there's your phone.
Sorry, guys. He has a 66.6 catch radius. So that's another good one.
He's just always been solid. That's what
I'm not sure what's going on. Somebody's trying to FaceTime me right now, and I can't hear you guys anymore, but I'm going to keep going. Can you guys hear me? That's the question.
I can hear you.
Oh, we can hear you.
Okay, cool. I'm going to try to wing this. I'm trying to take this off again.
Well, while you're doing that, maybe I'll just move on and do the next quick hit really quick. I want to talk about Kirk Cousins, who is hosting a youth football camp in Minnesota this year. This will be the first year that he's doing it in Minnesota. Usually he does it in Michigan. And this will be, the camp is for faith, family, and football at Hope College in Holland, Michigan as well. That's where it's been hosted previously. And like I said, this will be the first year in Minnesota. So it's cool to see Kirk Cousins is going to be doing his part to help give back to the community. If you got kids or whatever, registration is currently open for that.
I think that's awesome to learn how to throw a football from one Kirk Cousins. Maybe he can also work with them about giving motivational speeches before video games. Before games.
Yeah, there's something about Kirk. Sometimes his I get he's trying to be the leader on the team and trying to motivate them. They feel a little forced and a little awkward, but hey,
it's because he's the whitest human being to ever walk the planet.
Exactly. I take it you got audio back, Smith.
Yeah, I got a FaceTime call, which I've been doing this show like 4 or 5 years. I don't know that I've ever gotten one during the middle of a podcast, which is weird. But we're back, and I see the Kirk Cousins bullet here, so I guess we're talking about him. Robert.
Yeah, we were talking about. I just did a rundown of his youth football camp here.
Kyle made this joke in the chat before we started. He's going to teach all his kids how to rob the Vikings of $80 million. Oh man, I want to beat that dead horse in the ground for just a second. We're in year 1, going into 2 of 3 full years of Kirk Cousins, and I am fully on board to support this guy, mainly because I have no other choice. But a lot of stuff went into why the season went the way it did, and I don't put all the blame. I do give him a good percentage, good 30 or 40%, but man, it's just the Viking seasons all over again. Somebody gets hurt, somebody dies. Everything changes in the middle of the season. We have a hard schedule. Like, it always happens this way, but I'm still on board the Kirk train. I didn't get to say that a couple weeks ago while we were on, so it's cool. Maybe you can go to this youth football camp, one of you guys. Well, it'll probably be Kyle because Dorian's all the way in California.
Nah, I'm good.
See if you can register.
He said, no, I'm good.
Maybe you can hear one of those.
Kyle, why do you say that like it's like Christian Ponder or
I don't know.
Peterman or somebody like that? Like,
when you think, I don't know, I don't mean to shit all over Kirk Cousins, but when you think like, oh, I'm gonna learn to throw a football from like Brett Favre or Peyton Manning or whatever, like that's who I want my kids to learn from. Like Kirk Cousins was not high on my list of. Oh, I want my kids learn to throw from Kirk Cousins. Like, oh boy.
Wow. Dude, that's harsh. I could tell there's a lot of tonal inflections there, and there's a lot of stuff you're saying but not really saying. Mm-hmm. I heard what you just said just now.
Yeah. No, we both did, yeah.
Well, Kirk Cousins getting a lot of love on the show. He's a walking dad joke. Like, he is. He's super corny and weird, and I don't know. Yeah, whatever. I love the guy. Anyways, I have to. When I tell you guys I love Kirk Cousins, it's because I'm doing that thing where like this is my happy face, but I'm really crying back here. I have to love the guy and have no other choice. So
exactly, Kyle. Like I second that. Pretty much, he's on our team. He's our quarterback. We have no choice. So whether you like it or whether you, like Ric Flair used to always say, whether you like it or whether you don't like it, you're gonna learn to love it.
Right, exactly.
Woo!
So I do love these next two guys a lot too. Danielle Hunter and Harrison Smith picked up some additional postseason hardware. The defensive end and safety were named to the Pro Bowl in December, and they were named a second-team All-Pro earlier this month. The defensive duo were recognized by Pro Football Writers of America on Tuesday morning, as Hunter was named to the All-NFL and All-NFC teams, while Smith was honored as a member of the All-NFC team. That's pretty cool. You know, I'm really surprised just to not see on here. Eric Kendricks never gets love, like ever.
Yeah.
If he left, I would be legit pissed. He's not going anywhere. I think Barr is probably going to get dealt, which we've talked about and we'll talk about ad nauseum later on to see. He's probably going to go. He's one of the most coveted free agents coming up this year. But
I don't think Minnesota is going to be comfortable paying Anthony Barr what his price tag is going to be on the open market, and it might be a good mutual parting.
Well, I mean, hey, I'm either I'm either or, man. If Barr stays, cool. If he doesn't, that's cool too. As much as I like Anthony Barr and would like for him to stay, that price tag I'm not high on, because obviously we have other things to take care of on this roster. I don't know. It kind of sucks, but I'll be good with it, and I'll, right now, thank you, Anthony Barr. If he's gone, I thank you for being a Viking, and I wish you nothing but the best.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm in the same exact boat as Dorian. This dude's been a monster for us. He's had some up and down moments, but I think he's lived up to his draft grade and his draft pick overall. He's made some really good splashy plays. Like I said, up and down here and there, but I have no ill will towards him. It's not like we went out like, when we got Josh Freeman that one year. It's not like, man, I had high hopes and he just like shit the bed and rolled around in it. He's been pretty good more than he's been bad. So I like Anthony Barr a lot.
My thing with Anthony Barr is he has the potential to get paid a lot of money on the open market and just not live up to.
Oh yeah, for sure.
To the contract.
I see both sides of that. I could see him going somewhere and getting paid a lot of money to be on a bad team and getting a guaranteed deal. I could also see him going to a team like the Rams or the Patriots and going to the fucking Super Bowl.
That'll be a lot of it too as to what team he goes to. Like if you overpay him on a bad team to try to like build your defense around, that's not a good situation. But like you said, if he goes somewhere that's already ready-made, he does well for Minnesota. You can plug him in and you'll get production out of him.
Yeah. He'll do good wherever he goes. I'm pretty positive. He's a good player. If he stays, I'll be more than happy. If he goes, like Dorian said, I'm not going to wish bad upon the guy. He was a good Viking. And he didn't badmouth the team either, knowing that this is going to be a contract year. I didn't hear him go and say, oh, well, this place doesn't respect me or they don't want me like Adrian Peterson used to do. So, I mean, I'm okay with that too. If you just kind of play the game and go along, like, get my respect for sure when you say stuff like that. Oh, this next one's weird, and I'm looking it up now. NPR News, and it came out on the 28th of December, so it's almost a month old. But the Vikings are looking to get new turf just 3 years into their facility opening. You guys know that it's hosted a bunch of stuff from the Super Bowl to rock shows, all kinds of crazy stuff. Lester Bagley is the Vikings executive vice president, and he said the artificial turf typically has a 3 to 4 year lifespan. At the time that it was installed, management described the field turf manufactured by a Canadian company as more advanced and durable than the stuff they played in on the Metrodome. No shit, because everything in the Metrodome was 5 years old.
Everything is more advanced than the Metrodome was.
They had props for the males to piss in the bathrooms. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong; those are staples of like super old stadiums and are fine and all. But
you know what, though, you can look back at the Metrodome and say that it was a fun kind of dumpy stadium.
Dude, I'm so pissed I never got to see it. I went up there that one year, like 5 years ago, and hugged it, and I was like, I just want to be in here, and they fucking bulldoze it.
I got to go to games in the Metrodome, and it could get loud, man. Like it was definitely, it was outdated, but it was a fun stadium too. Like all the stupid shit that comes with it is just part of Minnesota lore now.
This is a cool little note to add for this. When the stadium was approved by the legislature, the Vikings ownership and the authority were required to jointly contribute a capital improvement account that'll make upgrades to the building as time went on. I don't know what MSFA is, but an MSFA official said the new turf would be paid for through that account. So all the brass is going to pay for this as part of it. You make enough money at that place to put new turf down. Like, they don't have to worry about that.
We all kind of laughed in the chat room when we seen the post go up on the Viking Age about how US Bank Stadium's getting renovations. We're like, we just built the damn thing. What are they renovating to it? But I guess, I mean, you don't really think about it. Like, how long does turf last? I don't know. I've never really thought about how often you
learn stuff. I learned it too. It's 3 to 4 years, and then that's it.
There you go.
And then I already deleted the article. I didn't X out of it or whatever, but they did want to put in and try to contribute to like Adrian Peterson and Dalvin Cook tearing up their knees.
I was going to say, who else got hurt on that turf? Maybe it's a good thing that we're like
Dalvin Cook for sure.
Yeah,
so they're going to try to point it to that and be like, "Well, we need new turf." Like,
let's just like scrape that shit up and throw it in the dumpster and get a new turf in.
I never understood that until last year, and I'm just babbling at this point. But on the new turf, you see when wasn't it a Vikings game where the guy had to come out and fix it? Wasn't it a Vikings game? And the they had to fix it at the end zone. It's a bunch of rubber pellets underneath it, so when they fall and land, they'll bounce a little bit and they'll have a little bit of give.
Yeah, they get like that. You've seen players; they'll come up and they've got like the tire pellets.
That's it. That's exactly
stuck to their arm.
I had no idea that was a thing. Like,
yeah, it's weird shit. I don't know. I've heard it both ways from players. Where some players really prefer turf because they think you get less injured on it, even though we were just talking about players that did. And then there's others that just prefer a natural field because that's what you grow up playing on in high school, and most chances are in college is with like a grass turf. So yeah. I don't know. Without playing, I really don't know what I prefer.
Well, I know when I was a kid playing on the playground and I fell on those little tire shavings, it hurt like a motherfucker. So it doesn't feel good when people are running into you at full speed and then you hit the ground. So kudos to these guys. But I mean, real grass hurts just as bad too. I just ate shit today catching a dog for work. So it's like, you got to pick your poison. These guys are badasses. All these football players are badasses. They don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here's the next good quick.
This one's for Dorian. Dorian, you got the floor.
Splooge their pants talking about this, and I was pretty excited too. Randy Moss had mentioned that he might want to coach the Vikings wide receivers. Is there anybody out there in their right mind who doesn't want this to happen? Because I sure as shit do.
Adam Carlson.
We know Adam's going to go against the grain. That's fine.
Yes. But no, I am 100% whether if it was just Randy playing around and just joking, or if he was actually serious. But, I mean, come on. Randy Moss is a bona fide, well, obviously, just got a certified Hall of Famer.
Bona fide G and a certified stud.
He's Randy Moss. I mean, come on. Like, I'm serious. Kyle, we were talking about this a little bit. Kyle West, Adam Thielen. Who did he grow up watching as a Minnesota
Randy Moss.
Randy Moss. From what I hear, he has a good rapport as well with Stephon Diggs. So this receiving core, I mean, who better? Who better? They will listen to somebody that actually played the damn game, that has the credentials. I mean, come on. I mean, what more could you ask for? So I'm all with it. If Randy Moss is serious and he wants to, he wants to be, come back to the sidelines in purple and become a coach for us, straight cash, homie.
Yeah, pay him in straight cash. Under the table, like, keep the IRS off his back. I don't know. I'm just making shit up at this point.
And he can keep his job on ESPN. He can keep his job at
yeah, because we're paying him under the table. Let's round table here for a minute. How serious do we think he actually was, or was he just like clowning around on social media? Because I think he was more just clowning around.
I have a second little story to go off of this, so I'll let everybody get their stuff out. Okay. I think he was half serious. I don't think he was that serious.
Yeah, I don't think he was super serious with it.
Yeah, unfortunately, because knowing Randy. But yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised, like I said, if it was just.
But here's the thing, though. If Randy wants to show up in training camp and spend a couple days with the wide receivers, fucking go for it, man. Like, Mike Zimmer brings in.
Better idea.
Yeah, Mike Zimmer brings in veterans all the time to talk to. He brought in Matt Burke a couple seasons ago to come talk to the team. He's always welcoming to the veterans and the alumni. Come on in. Randy.
I'd like to see Randy come out for the entirety of a training camp. Now, obviously, he's not going to train. He's not going to stay there. But if they would house him and put him up and say, hey, dude, OTAs or training camp, you're good to come out and be – not even for the wide receivers. Imagine Randy fucking Moss comes back to the team you play on, and he's just out there to talk. Like, it's kind of like – you remember that clip of him when he gets up in Green Bay and he's like, oh, that's Brett Favre. I got to go watch Favre, man.
Right?
Like, everybody and their brother's going to get up and be like, Randy fucking Moss is here? We got to go. We got to go talk to this dude. But here's the roundtable discussion I have.
Plus, I want to go to training camp and meet Randy Moss. So that would be a bit official for the both of us.
If you do that, I want a fucking autograph, just so you know. Yeah. But wouldn't that be everybody? But the other point I have, too, and let's switch this over. I don't think he would leave the comfort of the studio that he has because he has such a good job there, and he's pretty good at it.
He's good at that.
He's with Sam Ponder and Rex Ryan and all those guys and stuff. But here's the other part of that. Speaking of guys who are fucking killing it in the booth, can we all agree that Tony Romo is like the best fucking announcer that we've had in this year?
Wow, dude. Tony Romo
is fucking killing the game. He's doing so good, they're making him go to the Super Bowl, and he just started this job.
What I love about him is he can call shit before it happens. He's like, no, they're going to audible, and it's going to be a run to the right because blah, blah, blah reason. And that's exactly what happens. Oh, they're killing it. It's going to be a run.
Yeah.
That's so good.
There's nothing more to add. Well, I have nothing more to add to it. I think he's awesome. He's doing the damn thing. And if Tony Romo wanted to, I think Tony Romo could be a good somebody's good coach. Whether if it's him going back to Dallas or anybody, I think because his football knowledge, He
would have thought,
obviously shared that with us, you know what I'm saying, as the football fan, through the course of this year of him, doing his commentary on games. I mean, it's incredible.
Pat McAfee, just saying, he also needs to replace, like...
Pat McAfee's so entertaining, but I don't like him as much on network television because he has to go PG, because I love when he just drops out, what up, Cuzzy? Because nobody on TV is gonna know like what's up, Cuzzy, and what does that mean? Or if he's pulling a Chris Sims thing and he's like, "Did you see the piss missile that Greg Gurline blah blah blah," or something like that? But I gotta say, back for Tony Romo, because I'm so excited to watch the Super Bowl and hear him call it. It's one thing if you can break down, like I love Chris Collins' work. I think he's great. He'll break down and explain it to you in layman's terms because he played after a play happens and why. Tony Romo's telling you what the fuck's going to happen before it happens and then calls it to a T, precision call, and you're like, Tony, why? who are you? It's so good. It's so much fun to have the game down and tell you what happens.
You watch that and you're like, where was this dude when he was playing the game?
Yeah,
like he's
yes.
I didn't want to say that. Kyle, I didn't want to say that because I didn't want to shit on the guy because I think he's one of the best undrafted NFL players of all time.
No doubt.
I didn't want to say that because I don't want to blast on the guy.
You're not blasting on him, Smith. I mean, shit. Tony Romo has done, you know what I'm saying, way enough, you know what I'm saying, to earn his keep, you know?
Tony Romo's accomplished more than I ever will. Yeah.
All of us, man. He's awesome, man. I think everybody's rooting for him and excited for him. Let's get to this last one before we hit the main points and talk about these games from this weekend. I know the three of us are all in favor of it. Aldrick Robinson said he'd like to return to the Vikings in 2019. Round table, if this was America's Got Talent.
Kind of go quick on this one.
Yeah, right. If this was America's Got Talent, you get the golden X from everybody. You're good. Right. Come on back, dude.
I do want to say I still think we need like a true number 3 receiver. I don't think Aldrick Robinson is like that true number 3 guy that you want behind Thielen and Diggs, but he's an amazing rotational talent for like, hey, Thielen needs to take a play off. Robinson, go in. You can be competent. You can make plays.
I have 2 suggestions, and I guess this could be a round table or a quick round table. I have 2 suggestions.
I know what one of them are.
DeSean Jackson.
Ooh.
And Larry Fitzgerald.
Fitz isn't going to happen. He's a Cardinal for life.
Okay.
You know, it's not round table, and I'll tell you why. I love Larry Fitzgerald. I'm not saying he's too old to play. I don't know, man. I can't see him in another uniform, even though he's from Minnesota. It would be weird. And you know what I feel like would happen, honestly, just because it's our luck? He would come over here and be what Greg Jennings was and be like a fucking shell of himself, and it would make me very sad.
Greg Jennings wasn't bad, dude. Don't say that.
I know, but he wasn't the same one from Green Bay. He still had a little bit of a shiftiness, but I don't want to see Larry come over and not do shit for us. That would break my heart.
Right.
Well,
I get what you're saying, though.
Who was the first one that you brought up?
DeSean Jackson. He's still got something in the tank.
That's interesting. That's an interesting thing. You put him and Stephon Diggs on the same field together, that's a lot of fucking speed.
In the pass-happy league, like, if at that point, if Kirk Cousins fails, I'd boot his ass off the team because you got 3 great options out there because he's still very speedy.
Because I bring in DeSean Jackson just because of him and Kirk Cousins' time together in Washington.
Yep.
And that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and then I heard rumblings. He's kind of like the odd man out, or is going to be the odd man out in Tampa Bay because of their young wide receiving core. And because they're not going to, I think he's going to be making $10 million, and because of his age, they're just thinking like they're not going to pay him that much money, so he might be on his way out. But I just think that DeSean Jackson could give us probably, maybe 2 seasons, 2 years. We can ask for him. And I think he can actually produce. He's still pretty much shifty and fast. And on top of that, he could fill in for us as far as like punt and kick returns because dude is still fast as hell. Just saying.
I wouldn't be mad about that.
And he's only 32. That's what I was looking up really quick.
All right, so I mean, yeah. So I don't know. Is anybody in the chat room agreeing with me, disagreeing with me, thinking that I lost my damn mind for saying DeSean Jackson should be a Minnesota Viking?
No, but I will ask them what they think.
Hey, Mr. Smith.
Hello, Mr. Foley.
I told you this off air, but I want to tell you in front of everybody, your beard is like really macho, man. I really like it. It's really rugged. I feel it. If I was a woman, I would like to touch the face.
Yeah, just throw them up here and let them just hang on my nose. Bra or panties is fine. I'll be the new Masked Singer with that. All right, I'm making awful jokes now.
Are you getting itching yet, bro?
I'll tell you what sucks, and this is really gross, but I like to keep the clean part under here, but I have like the stubbles from shaving, and I hate it. But I love it. I've never had a beard this full my adult life because of the military. So it's nice being on this TDY. I can grow this until June, and I plan on it. I'm not touching this until June. So,
That's
and
awesome.
when I go back, I'm going to have the Super Trooper mustache too. So it's going to
be. You better. I'm holding you to that.
I absolutely will.
Mustache? Oh, wow.
Super Trooper stash. All right. So we're going into the main topics this week. I'm going to put all these together.
Sure.
The first one, and then we can talk about the games from this weekend heading to the Super Bowl. But the main topics are the new coaching hires. So we have Gary Kubiak, 4-time Super Bowl champ. He's going to be the assistant head coach and the offensive advisor. Clint Kubiak, his son, is a quarterback's coach. Brian Periani, the tight ends coach. And Marwan Malouf is a special teams coach. He did some time with Indy and the Browns. I don't know too much about Clint or Brian, as the aforementioned. I just learned how to say Marwan's name thanks to cheating before the show. But I want to start from the bottom up here. Mike Prefer needed to go. I think he was behind the times. I think it showed in the kicking and the punting game the last couple of years. It was trash. And I told Kyle this before Dorian signed on and before we came live. I think that the players have really saved Prefer's ass the last couple of years. The end of having Cordero Patterson as a return specialist, horrible kicking over the last couple of years, and that falls to him first if I have to blame anyone. And then Marcus Sherrill's in the punt return game. That dude has saved that guy's ass a couple of times for how good he is as a punt returner. So Marwan Malouf, I'm excited to have a change there, and hopefully he'll teach the punter how to hold and hold the kicker accountable, whoever the hell that is.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think the signing of Gary Kubiak is a good one for Minnesota. I think that Mike Zimmer, he is such a defensive-minded coach that he relies heavily on having someone who's got experience in the league that he feels comfortable with talking to, someone that's closer to him in age, like what Tony Sparano was. I think Tony Sparano was that guy for Mike Zimmer. And so bringing in Gary Kubiak is bringing someone that he trusts, that he can talk to, someone that, you know, we talk about this at work too, about how sometimes you have like 10 ideas and 9 of them suck, but you have to talk with someone about all 10 ideas before you stumble upon that one good one. And in a way that is not in a like an official capacity. So it's beneficial for Mike Zimmer to have someone that he can go to who's got an office right across from his in Gary Kubiak, and they can shoot the shit, and they can have 10 different ideas for what to do on offense. And if 9 of them are terrible, that's okay, because we're just coming up, we're just throwing shit out and seeing what sticks and being comfortable with. And I don't think that Zimmer had that with the guy that we fired mid-season. What's his name? DeFilippo. I don't think he had that rapport with him. And I think that with Gary Kubiak, that will be someone that he can go in and have those conversations with. Same with our actual offensive coordinator. What's his name? Stefanski. Yep.
Oh, Stefanski. Yeah.
Stefanski. Yep.
So I'm looking at his record real quick. Obviously, he was a head coach with Peyton Manning and his noodle arm in 2015, and they won. Where Peyton Manning had more interceptions and touchdowns. That is a damn good coaching job right there, because he was at the end of his rope. He was with the 49ers in 1994 as a quarterback's coach to Steve fucking Young. So he's been around some greats. They won the Super Bowl that year against the Chargers. Steve Young threw an MVP honor. He got the MVP honors at the Super Bowl. Super Bowl record, 6 touchdowns. Try to beat that. Tom Brady probably will in 2 weeks just because he's Tom Brady and he's an asshole. Then he went to the Broncos from 95 to 2005. He was under Mike Shanahan, who was previously the offensive coordinator for the Niners. He went to be Denver's head coach. And as the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach, Kubiak helped lead Denver to 2 Super Bowl titles back-to-back over the Packers and the Falcons. We all remember those. And then, like I said before, he won as a head coach for the Broncos. Not sure why he stepped down. I think it was health reasons.
I want to say it was health reasons.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, it says here on January 1st, 2017, he stepped down due to health issues, made his retirement official in a press conference. So, yeah.
Part of what I was reading about him coming into Minnesota is because it doesn't require the same workload as what being an offensive coordinator would be. He gets to work on some reduced hours and not have the stress that comes with it. And it seems like a good fit to me.
You know what I feel like this could turn into, and this is a completely different comparison. But you know how we didn't know at the time, even though I kind of think we know now because Gary Kubiak's kind of settled in. We didn't know at the time how valuable Case Keenum was 2 years ago, and then he came in and just fucking helped us kick ass. How did we land Gary Kubiak? Like, he could have picked a lot of other teams and a lot of other spots.
People respect Mike Zimmer.
He won a fucking Super Bowl as a head coach 3 years ago. And I get that health has a thing, you need to take a year off or whatever. I mean, Bruce Arians just did that. He took a year off, got healthier, and now he's back with the Bucks. But I was super surprised to see that he came over as an offensive advisor, none the least. Kevin Stefanski, I'm intrigued by him, and I want to see what he does. But if Gary Kubiak comes in that building and says, "I'm your new offensive coordinator," Mike Zimmer fires Kevin Stefanski on the spot. I mean, everybody agrees with that, right?
I mean, yeah.
Hey,
I'm pretty pumped to have this dude on the staff.
I was gonna go a step further, I guess, and be that guy, that fan. If depending on how our season goes, if we kind of like blow it again, I can see Gary Kubiak potentially becoming our next head coach.
Oh, I didn't want to say it, so I'm kind of glad you did.
Don't
but
worry, I didn't think about that. No,
I had that, or at least, we're gonna get a downvote for this one, or an interim coach. Should shit real?
I mean,
should
right now
we get off to a?
Yeah.
Can I just say one thing?
Can I
say one thing about that?
We shelve it.
Yeah, we can shelve that. I just want to say we're at a good point as fans because remember 2011 when we got Christian Ponder, we were 3-13. Remember Christian Ponder after a couple of years, we're like, yeah, he sucks. He's not what we thought. Mm-hmm. We were 5-9-1 with Matt Castle. Fucking terrible. We're at a point to where a winning season now is not acceptable. So I just want to point out where we are as a team.
Right. Totally.
We're in a good spot. We just got to go and build a little bit. It was a disappointing year, no doubt, but we're all right.
You made a good point about Case Keenum, and I think you can extend that to, I don't think we as fans realized how important Tony Sparano was to this team and just Mike Zimmer. And I hope that bringing in Gary Kubiak brings some of what Sparano brought to the table for the Vikings.
1,000%.
Yeah, I hope that he can fill that void.
That'd be really nice, but I'm just happy to see somebody of that caliber that wanted to come over. And you're right, what you said earlier was totally correct. You got to give you credit for that. You must have a lot of respect and belief in what Zimmer does because he gets a lot of bullshit thrown his way, but he just takes it on the chin.
Unnecessary bullshit. We got a trade Treadwell going on in the chat. I think we all agree with that.
Yeah. Like I said before, I wish him nothing but the best, but I don't think he's a good fit for the team.
Can we talk about my poll? I want to talk about the poll results that I put up on Facebook.
Yeah, please.
This is pretty cool. So sometimes I do social media questions. Other times I will do a poll because I think it's fun. It gives everyone an opportunity to, to vote and more people interact with it. And so I asked you guys who you thought was better on special teams, Cordarrelle Patterson or Devin Hester. And the reason why I asked this was because it's a couple weeks ago now, the Chargers had said something like they thought that Cordarrelle Patterson was the greatest special teams player ever in the history of the NFL, which I like Cordarrelle, but that's like a huge overstatement with that one. So I asked you guys, well, who do you think is better, Patterson or Hester? And 38% voted for Cordarrelle Patterson and 62% voted for Devin Hester.
Yeah, I love Cordarrelle as much as everybody else when he was on the team, but don't even put him in the same breath.
And I know some people got picky and they were like, well, Hester is on punt returns and Patterson is on kick returns. I know.
Here's the side I'll give Cordarrelle the benefit on. The kickoffs are way harder to return now because almost all of them are in the end zone, and I would give him that benefit. I would love to have seen if they were at the 25 and not the 35 like before, or at the 20-yard line, what he could have done because his numbers might have been higher. Mm-hmm. But I've seen the dude many, many times, and I have a bias too because of him as a wide receiver. But no, I don't put him in the same breath. You got to do a lot more to be considered in that conversation.
We had a couple people who tried to vote in the comments for Percy Harvin as well too.
He was a good Viking. I didn't like his attitude, but he was he was one of those players you're like, damn, it's sad to see that guy's career.
In terms of like just special teams play, Harvin was amazing. He was good too.
Yes. That guy was so damn elusive and just quick and just.
Oh yeah, him with Fire. Oh man, that was such a good time.
I don't know what's going to happen with Patterson. I don't think he sticks on in New England. Like you said, Tom Brady is king, judge, jury, and all that shit for them.
Ever in the NFL, and when you drop
passes,
when you brick those catches 2 in a row in an AFC Championship game.
You're not coming back.
Just like people like Gronk and Julian Edelman's ass a year early, they'll drop him like fucking bad habits. So
New England traded Randy Moss. I mean, come on now.
They got the best year out of him ever, and they traded him
like right at the perfect time. They ain't keeping Cordero.
No. All right, so everybody in the chat, get your pens ready. I want to hear your comments because we're going to round out the show now. Super Bowl predictions. I got the New England Patriots winning 41-34 against the LA Rams. Who do you guys got?
I didn't have an actual score in mind. New England is going to do it. They're going to win. I think it's going to go to overtime. I think it'll be another overtime one.
Ooh. I don't have a score, but no, I'm going with the LA Rams.
Okay.
I will fucking puke and throw up if I see Tom Brady and Bill Belichick hoist up the fucking trophy again. So I don't want to see that. I want to see Robert Kraft celebrating and kissing his wife or whoever it is in the damn box or whatever that they're sitting in. I don't want to see red, white, and blue confetti. You know what I'm saying? All damn. Fuck that. No.
I gotta point out the good irony too.
Debate with Tom, not debate. I'm sick and tired of hearing about Tom Brady. Tom Brady, excuse me. Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
And his legacy and how, oh my gosh, 41 years. I don't want to hear that storyline. I want to hear something else.
You know what's funny too? The last one they won, they beat Atlanta. They're going to win a Super Bowl in Atlanta Stadium too. Oh man,
that's as bad as what I can't think. That's as bad as what the Eagles did to us.
Yeah, it is.
Like beating us and then coming into Minnesota and winning a Super Bowl in our stadium. Like that shit sucks.
I have a fun fact, and it has Super Bowl ties. So from where I sit right now, this internship and where I'll be till June is in Tarboro, North Carolina. It's towards the eastern side, towards the shore. You know who's playing in the Super Bowl who went to high school in this very town? The best running back that's going to be on the field for the Super Bowl. Todd fucking Gurley went here. And guess what the high school mascot is? The Vikings.
It should be Todd Gurley at this point.
Yeah, it really should. I looked it up. I was at the gym that's about half a mile from here, and I talked to the owner, and we were going in. He's like, who you got this weekend? Of course, I said, you can't bet against the Patriots. I don't know who's going to win that Rams or Saints game. He's like, Todd Gurley went to high school here. I was like, what, for like a year? Like, no, dude, he's born here. Had no idea Todd Gurley was from North Carolina and went here, but
that's cool.
Spoiler alert, he was a monster in high school too. He was really good. So,
have you guys ever seen the high school highlights of Adrian Peterson?
Yes.
Oh God, I don't want to. It's probably like child abuse out there.
Yes.
He looks like Adrian Peterson playing high school kids, and he just every play just. A car crash. Just right straight through him. Like, good luck.
What are people saying in the chat for predictions?
We have Tom Brady gets his 6th ring, 31-28. That was by Yin Yaj. School Highlights Official said Rams 30, Patriots 27.
Ooh.
He says, I want LA Rams to win, but I have a feeling the Patriots will win. That was also Yin Yaj. And I was listening to Joy Taylor. I don't know if you listen to her. She's on Colin Coward. Yeah, she was talking about.
I'm sorry.
Get hot here.
You're right. She was talking about how there's a lot of people that are just tired of New England. It's like, yeah, they're the greatest sports dynasty probably ever, but I'm also tired of watching them.
Yes.
And I'm kind of in that camp too.
You know why? You know, I do want the Rams to win, but you know why? I hope that the Patriots do, and I think they will, because maybe, just fucking maybe, he'll finally retire. He'll have 6 rings. And 3 years ago, Giselle was like, "Are you gonna hang it up yet? Because they kind of want you to be at home and like have a life." So
do you? So do you think if they win, does he retire, or is he just is he gonna go until he fills both hands?
I hope that he does, but I'll give you my honest opinion. The dude's talking about playing another 3 years. I don't think so.
Yeah. So
and they don't have a backup plan right now.
4 years old before he finally retires.
They don't have a backup plan either. They have Brian Hoyer as their backup. They're not going forward with that guy.
How old is Tom Brady?
41.
41. Remember what Brett Favre looked like
at 40?
At 40?
Yeah.
Like it's unbelievable the shape that Tom Brady is in.
Yeah, so when he starts this new season, he'll be 42. He is 41 currently. 1977 on August 3rd.
Whatever his TB12 workout thing is, it must involve blood sacrifices or something.
It's not. It's no sugar and avocado ice cream. It's the most bland, nasty shit ever that you have to eat all the time.
Sounds like Kirk Cousins' breakfast. And he's like, "What's TB12? This is just what I eat normally. The avocado is a little spicy."
Oh dear God, he would say that avocado is spicy.
Yeah,
Can we tone the spice down?
Tom Brady is damn near vegan, so
yeah, pretty much.
He's damn near vegan. Like he's very strict from what I've heard. He's very strict with his diet and what he does, what he puts into his system, and yeah.
I mean, you can not like the Patriots. You can not like the Saints, but the level of play that you're getting from Tom Brady and from Drew Brees at the age they're at is unbelievable.
Yeah, they were talking about it, I think, Monday on Go Look and Wingo or something like that. You remember, like, when Kurt Warner retired, it was like 36, 37, and Carson, the same thing.
Kurt Warner was beat to fuck. Brett Favre was, yeah.
Yes.
So you got to think about how the president used to be, and I know that the league's a lot softer than it was like in Favre's fucking prime years, but you got to think now, like, people used to play 15 years, and they're like, "Oh man, that guy was a legend." Phillip Rivers is still in there, like season 16, 18, and Tom Brady, Ben Roethlisberger, all these guys are getting older, and they're still playing really well. And it's like,
and look at how young Patrick Mahomes is.
Oh God,
how long is Pat Mahomes going to be in the league? He's going to be playing until he's 50.
He's gonna play oh man. Well, I don't know what you guys have left on the table, but that's pretty much it.
I think that'll about do it for this week.
We'll keep you up to date on the Pro Bowl after this weekend. Sorry for the lapse, guys.
You mean the Royal Rumble? right, Dorian.
It's anyways. It's football where the points are made up and nothing matters because it's the Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl sucks. Yeah. But are they doing the skills challenge again?
I have no idea.
I actually saw a commercial. I believe so. I don't know who's in it, but I saw a commercial earlier. Yeah.
I'll YouTube that when it's done.
Yeah.
Whatever. That's a good highlight package, a good 10-minute highlight package, and that's about it.
It's still a letdown because I think Andy Dalton or Alex Smith won a couple of years ago, and they did that, and I'm like, both those guys are fucking terrible most of the time.
Yeah.
Like, well, not Alex Smith. Alex Smith's all right. Andy Dalton sucks. He has no business winning anything.
Did you guys see the video on ESPN? It was some kid with like prosthetic legs, and he's out throwing a football. And what's really good video. And the top comment was, "This is going to be Alex Smith next season."
Oh, too soon.
Oh man, the internet shows no fucking mercy.
Gosh,
that's terrible.
I got a really terrible one, but I won't repeat it on air. I'll tell you guys after we're off.
That's
okay.
That's like iRobot type ish right there.
That's funny as hell.
That's the future, maybe.
Well, that's all I got. I just wanted to give everybody a quick apology. Sorry, we've been out of it. I know we didn't do it. I don't think we did a show last week. Everybody's running around. We have stuff going on. It's a new year. We're really sorry. We'll try to keep it back on schedule again and give you an update after the Pro Bowl. Obviously, after the Super Bowl, we'll break it down. Then the offseason will be in full effect. And if there's any signings, any awards won by any Vikings, anything crazy like that, obviously we'll keep you up to date on it. But if you're in the chat, thank you for coming. And giving us stuff to talk about. We love when you guys interact because we'll interact right back with you. I gotta plug 2 things, and they're on Instagram. Number one, the Purple People Podcast is on Instagram, and I run that account. So if you want to go and find us on Instagram and give us a follow, I'll try to keep posting stuff on there. Also, the place that I'm working at now, and you guys can see if I hold it up here real quick, NCK9 LLC. Give us a follow on Instagram. I know you're probably not going to buy a police dog. Most of you guys aren't in that line of work, but really cool thing that I'm doing. I'm really happy to be working here. I'll plug that now just because it's a cool little opportunity I'm going for. But find everything that you like from us on YouTube, Instagram, whatever, Facebook. Give us a like. Tell us what you think. Tell us how we can be better on here, what you don't like, so we can avoid that if possible. And just try to make the show better for you.
And on that note, stay classy, Minnesota.